Welcome, my name is Nicholas, and welcome to another Army Showcase. I've got Mr. Initiative himself, James Jones. He plays orcs. So how many points of orcs do you have here?
About 85 to 9,500 points, I figure.
Depending on the upgrades.
Depending on the upgrades and stuff, yeah.
And but that's not all the orcs you have, I understand.
No, I have some more. Some top secret projects I've been working on. A couple more 2,000 point armies. I plan to unite all the clans like a real Gazghkull.
A real WAAAAAAGH.
A real WAAAAAAAGH, the whole WAAAAAAAGH.
Well, for those of you who might not be familiar with what orcs are, or maybe new to 40k in general, what are the orcs? What is a WAAAAAGH?
The WAAAAAAGH is all of the orcs' psychic power. They all come together and they just want to destroy everything in the universe.
Wait,
everything.
Am I pronouncing that wrong? Is the G silent?
I don't know. It's open to debate.
So it could be WAAAAAGH?
I say WAAAAAAAGH.
So, what are the orcs? How do they fit into the 40k universe?
Lore-wise, they were created by the old ones to battle the Necrons, which they did quite well because obviously they're all buried in Tomb Worlds. Sorry, Mike.
Go check on episode 2 of season 3.
Yeah.
What are the orcs like? Like they're not humans. They're aliens.
They're fungus.
They're fungus,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, they're fungus. They spore as they die. They spore off. More orcs come. You think you wiped them out? No, they're coming back.
They're an ever-present threat. You can't really wipe them out of a planet. They're designed to be the race that is always coming back to fight you, and they like to fight.
They love to fight. I would say that the orc, like sociology, their society is the perfect society. Nobody's hungry, nobody's starving, nobody's depressed, and nobody's, moping about. It's always good. There's always a fight. If you can't find someone else to fight, you fight another orc.
And nobody's hungry because they have a currency that's based on teeth.
On teeth, and their fungal society that actually grows their food. Everything is self-sufficient. They don't require outside sources.
Because of the grots, correct?
That's right, and the squigs. Everything comes from the orc spores.
So you have these
the evolution. It's like a coral reef.
Walk us through that. How does that work?
So as the orcs die, their cells are dropped into the ground, and then as the WAAAAAAGH moves forward, the spores that are left behind on these bloody battlefields start to grow like a coral reef. First, the squigs will start to grow, then the smaller orcs will come along, and then there's like an evolution up to the orcs themselves. Orcs never stop growing. The more they fight, the bigger they get, the meaner they get, the darker they get.
And usually, the biggest, meanest, baddest one of them all is in charge of that band.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest, baddest one of them all is Gazghkull.
He is. He is not here today.
You don't have a Gazghkull.
I have him.
Oh,
We've ruined one of my secrets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Golf's in the works.
Well, one of the new ones, right? Because they got a new release for it.
I have the original Gazghkull. He is here. I've converted him into a Death Skull's Mega Knob just to lead. He looks awesome at the front, so he looks pretty cool. Yeah, right.
So, lastly, the orcs, from my understanding, are actually a psychic race.
Absolutely, every orc is psychic.
But they may not realize that. So when they believe in something, it works.
That's right.
That's why they're buggies and trucks and guns that look like they're about to fall apart or look absolutely ridiculous with guns that all they've done is just stashed ammo in the ammo box rather than in clips and stuff like that.
Right.
They work because they think they work.
They work because they believe they work.
And even down to colors, right? Blue is
100%. Blue is lucky.
Blue is lucky, and
red is fast.
Red is fast, and purple is stealthy.
Well, the purple stealthy one, I think that's more of a meme. You all know what I'm talking about.
If you want to find out more information about orc lore, there's a number of books from Black Library, Game Workshop's publishing house, and there's quite a few books that have orcs as the antagonist. Very few of the protagonists.
Too bad.
Yeah. One main series they put out somewhat recently is the Beast Arises series. I read that a while back. Have you read that?
I have not. It unfortunately for me, it's too many books. Although with the Audible thing, maybe I should subscribe and just take that in. I mean, I could just listen to it at work, right?
Yeah, so Audible is actually a sponsor of this episode, and they actually have the entire Beast Horizon series on Audible, and you can listen to it when you paint. So Audible's actually provided a link where you can get a free trial if you go to audible.com/playontabletop, or you can text play on tabletop to 500 and you get a free trial, which is actually pretty cool. So how it works is, as an Audible member, you get 1 credit every month, good for any book in their category from the newest to the oldest, and you get to keep it in your library. At my stage in life, I'm quite busy, so I don't actually get to read a lot of books, so be able to listen to audiobooks lets me catch up on all of my favorites. Well, on that note, tell me about yourself. How did you get into Warhammer?
I was actually given a copy of Rogue Trader when I was about 13 years old by a boarder who lived in our basement. He was going to college, and he was a friend of my parents, and he gave me a copy of Rogue Trader and a couple of models just to check out, and I painted them up, and I was hooked. I went to some friends, and I was like, hey man, you guys got to check this out. Zach Bell, Chris Weeb, you guys know who you are. Yeah, just brought them in. We started collecting, started painting, playing little skirmish games, and in our parents' basements. Just good times.
Rogue Trader, just first edition 40K, very different than current 40K.
Very different. Games with 6 models took just as long as they do now with 600 models.
It was almost like D&D in many ways.
It was. Every model was its own individual guy. You could choose to play in more of a role-playing kind of aspect, or alternately like the skirmish, 5 or 6 models just fighting it out on a little table.
Yeah. Okay, so you got in that way, but
Right.
you told me you actually put it away for a while.
I did. So I played through high school, probably up to about 2nd or 3rd edition. And then when I got older, I started having kids, and I was working full time, and I just couldn't find time. And it wasn't as popular of a hobby as it is now, so there just wasn't as many people to meet and play with. So, it just kind of fell to the wayside. And then when my son was about 15, he found a box of models in a closet, and he was, hey, what's all this? And I was like, oh my, now we go down the rabbit hole together. And out the models came, and he and I started working on an army for him, and that's actually when I made the switch to orcs. Until then, I'd played Eldar and Space Wolves and a little bit of Chaos. And but I had my brother's orc army from when we were younger, and I just brought it out, and I just got so excited. I was like, this is the army for me now.
What made it the army for you, aside from you used Eldar? I would have picked Chaos,
Right?
Space Wolves, but
I was a different young man, I guess. A bit more of a Nancy.
So what drew you to orcs then? What made you say, this is my army?
Again, it was the lore in the, I believe this is the 3rd edition codex. I really enjoyed a lot of the way they talked about the orcs in it. I felt like every orc was like a Conan. He's just this big, buff, bad dude, and just looking to fight and punch face. It was just, Plus, I liked the randomness. Is when you look through this dex, you see so much just crazy, random, swingy stuff, and I was like, I just felt that was like, it fit my personality, and that was going to be the army for me.
That's right, because especially, they've toned it down in latest codexes. Because it can be feel bad at times, but definitely some of the older stuff, it was like, you either blew yourself up or did massive amounts of damage.
Shock attack gun rolling crazy and just flying across the table instead of shooting, and he just flies into the enemies and stuff. Oh, it's good times.
I had a friend that played orcs, and he brought as many of those as he could, and he was very good at rolling 12s.
I've had some luck with them too. I'm not gonna try to perpetrate like I'm actually a super lucky dice thrower. That's why orcs work for me. I think a big part of it is that I'm really good at throwing 5s and 6s.
So now you've grown your collection considerably, and you said this isn't even all you have.
It's not. Although I was starting to notice that I was having troubles keeping up with the purchases. Like my pile of shame is very small. I've burnt through a ton of stuff. I've got maybe 4,000 points of orcs that are sitting 3/4 painted. So
well done. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, I mean it's.
And this isn't a very expensive hobby,
right? And I mean, orcs is a very time-consuming hobby. It is a lot of painting here. Labor of love, years in this. So recently, I decided that the only way I was going to be able to afford to buy as much of this plastic crack as I need, I had to quit smoking.
Oh wow!
Yeah, quit smoking, people. It's bad for you.
Well, congratulations. That's a pretty cool step.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, transform one obsession to another.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll just start smoking the sprues.
They have called this plastic crack.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is. I get itchy when I don't have enough.
Yeah, the new models always make you like, oh, maybe I could start a new army.
Right.
I've got like 5 started armies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the new models?
I think they look awesome. I'm excited to see how they fit in. I'm a little nervous. I feel like maybe it's going to be a new clan culture. I would really like to just see them push snake bites and make them good finally.
Walk me through your army here. You have some incredible conversions here. And it looks like you've put a lot of love into this army, and you've painted a lot.
Convert your models, people. If you play orcs, convert your models.
The best thing about orcs is that, like, sometimes you can't even tell if it's a conversion because all their stuff looks like it's ramshackle and thrown together anyways.
Anything goes, baby.
You can put anything on it.
Anything.
Like,
all right.
Does this a Gorkanaut?
This is a Gorkanaut, yes.
Does it usually have that many smokestacks in the back?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, to start with, you've got 2 clans here, correct?
I do. So I've got my Deathskulls over here and my Bad Moons over here.
You got mech guns right here.
Right, they're tractor cannons. They're really good for pulling flyers down. If you take the last wound off a flyer with one of those bad boys, auto crash and burn.
That's fun. So it just explodes, and so if you get him in the enemy territory,
it's gonna be Orc Nick, isn't it?
Oh, it's very tempting. I've seen some cool Tau Orc conversions too.
But then I wouldn't need to come back.
This initiative always needs to come back.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so these kind of like almost like artillery.
They're artillery. I have some more at home, but they're not finished yet.
Then you've got what, commandos here?
Yeah, so those are commandos. There's some more on the ground as well.
Commandos are like sneaky dudes?
They're the sneaky dudes. They automatically outflank, do some tricks and whatnot. Just in front of them, I have some my little contingency of freebooters. I've got
pirates.
Yeah, space pirates. Yeah, pretty much. So there's 10 flash kits there with Captain Badrock leading them, and then I've got a couple of ammo grots in there. One of them is the red Gobbo, but I painted him blue so he'd fit in with my guys.
Correct. That's a special. It was a Christmas one, right?
That's right. So I just painted him up to use him as Badrock's personal ammo grot because he looks extra fancy. I also use him in my to lead my kill team because otherwise it looks lame when you use a Gretchen to lead your kill team.
He leads the Gretchen Revolution.
He does, but he's not the red Gobbo. He's the blue Nobbo. So then I've got some grots in front of him. I mean, in total here, there's probably about, I want to say 70 grots, give or take.
Oh yeah, you've got all the snakebite grots. Sorry,
Oh yeah, all the Bad Moons grots are over here. I do tend to do like a little bit of color variation in them, so when they're on the table, I can tell which units are which and whatnot when they collide together.
Tell me about these two cars here. Those are so cool.
So we've got the Scorcha Squig on your right there.
Yeah.
So that one is a battle wagon with a death roller on the front. It's a Death Skulls battle wagon, but I painted it red because even the Death Skulls know red ones go faster.
And what is it made out of? It's like
it was originally an old Trans Am model from like Revell or something like that. It was all busted up, and I was like, you know what? Why not? And then this one over here is the Git Stang. So it's a old fastback. Fastback Mustang. Probably like a GT 500 or GT 350. Threw some big mud tires on it and put an orc in the driver's seat. Right?
I love the crane holding the one missile.
The single rocket.
He's like holding it way out here, ready to fire.
The loader just swings it in and sticks another one in, swings it back out.
Oh, this is so great. And then you've got, what is this with this giant gun here?
Oh yeah, so that phallic gun is a shock attack gun.
Okay, custom
so
shock attack.
There's 3 of them up at the front there. They're all custom.
Oh yeah, you don't have any of the classic ones.
No, I like the model. I'm a blue collar gamer. I can't really afford to like just buy every model I want.
Fair enough.
So sometimes I have to build my own. Hence the orc thing, yeah.
Well, if there's any army you can do that with, it's definitely
Absolutely, right? So yeah, I've got my 3 Death Skull shock attack guns. They were so good in 8th edition. People hated them. So yeah, I've got those guys there. And then as we move over here, I've got all my Mega Knobs.
Mega Knobs here.
That's right, and led by my converted Gazghkull. I've got my RTLW
this guy's so cool.
Iron Boss.
He was in your battle report.
He was in my battle report. He led my WAAAAAAGH.
He did good.
He did very well.
Yeah.
I have a bad habit of reaching with the war boss a bit and tend to get him killed, but you know, that's why he's there. So then in front of him I have a Weird Boy on the right, a Pain Boy. Pain Boy's here, and then we've got the WA banner. He's all custom as well.
Those are great.
From like a snake bite.
I like those Age of Sigmar work models.
Me too.
And then over here, coming back over here, we've got, this looks like a battle wagon?
That is a battle wagon. Again, yeah, that's my my Fortress battle wagon. I used that one in the battle report as well.
Yeah, he did work. He's up so much
so
firepower.
good. He's super good. He had to come for the battle report. I couldn't bring the Scorch-a-Squig because he didn't have a wrecking ball. I needed that wrecking ball, so.
You just rip it off this one? What about
I guess I could have, yeah.
And then these are rocket launcher.
Yeah, so those are tank busters.
Tank busters, that's what.
Yeah, they're super fun now too. If you can get them up close and personal, put that more stick bombs on them. Ooh, they can do some damage to vehicles.
They're basically your meltas.
They have D3 melta bombs each, and if you pay 1 command point, they can all throw one. Ooh.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the G0 cult bombs.
Yes,
grenades,
exactly.
I love
exactly.
And then you've
got the Morkanite is here. Today I brought him with the conversion. So today he's the Gorkanaut. So
is this magnetized?
He's magnetized, so he can go both ways.
Those are great, man. Well done.
Right?
And then you've got some more trucks over here and some more boys.
Right. So you guys saw all these in the battle report. These are my Gazghkull boys. Just standard. They're all exactly the same. 3 trucks. Again, I like to put red paint on my trucks too because even Gazghkulls know red ones go faster.
Gotta make them go faster.
Gotta make them go faster.
Do they still have rules to go faster? It used to be that if you paint them red, they have
to. So that was the rule. Originally, you paint them red, and that just automatically it was like a free upgrade, right? Free upgrades. But now it's they have to be speed freaks.
Got it.
They have to be the right clan.
They've restricted it somewhat.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I like the clans. I like how they gave them all special rules, flavor for everybody. It was rough for me at first because my army was painted. It was led by the pewter Gazghkull, and it was all just random. Yeah. Some units were bad moons, some units were speed freaks, some units were this and that, and then I had to repaint a whole bunch of stuff to make them fit into these different categories.
And then we have
the piece de resistance,
Stompa.
The Stompa. So this is the standard GW Stompa. I did throw a belly gun on him, and I did a conversion on his face. I gave him the Morkanaut's face, so it looks like he has the Eye of Mork.
Yeah.
So I could use him as a custom Stompa.
Because there was a Forge World Stompa that had better rules.
And it still does. It's cheaper. It's actually cheaper to get it on the table, so there you have it.
Do they still have that rule for the big gun that you fire basically a heck of a lot of shots, but if you roll, I think it's doubles or something like that, you run out of ammo?
Right. So how it works is he's got it's the Super Gatla, and when he fires that, he gets to roll after he fires it, and on a 2+, he gets to fire it a second time. Then, if you wish, you may attempt to fire it a third time on a 5+. But if at any point you fail that roll, he's done. It's out of ammo, it's done.
So if you really want to, fire it all at once, but you could run out of ammo.
There's actually a really tasty stratagem for it too, which can make it damage 2 now, which, take that, Space Marines.
So you're going to be running this guy.
Well,
how many points is the Stompa?
He's this one as a custom Stompa with the belly gun and everything on him. He's just under 900 points.
Okay.
So but 40 wounds. I've used him with success. I actually played him at Food Hammer. Shout out to JT and Mubin. We champions of the final Food Hammer team tournament.
Well, I think your Stompa, my Taunar. Let's do it.
I'm down. I'm down.
After this.
Orcs love a fight. I'm down.
Let's do it. All right, and then we got, this was Morkanaut. This is a Gorkanaut?
This is that's a Gorkanaut.
That's a Gorkanaut
right now, but he can go both ways.
Okay.
And then this guy is my Bad Moons Morkanaut. He's got the full kit. So he's got the custom force field, the rockets, the big shooters, everything.
This is the transport one, right?
Yes, they both are transport.
So they can store a bunch of guys inside and in their belly and just kind of here you go, charge the enemy.
I didn't glue the doors at first, but they were always flopping open during the game, so they're glued shut now. Sorry. And then I've got a battle wagon over here.
That looks like a very custom piece.
Very custom piece. This was actually built by my friend Zach Bell.
So what is it? What is it made out of?
So it's some kind of toy tank of some variety. I believe it used to drive at some point. It has battery in it, but I believe the motor's unhooked inside, so it doesn't drive anymore. It just makes this obnoxious sound now.
Well, that'd be a good way to secretly during the game get a couple more inches on your movement. Just hey, what's out over there? Button press. Oh yeah. Oh no, that guy was always there.
It's too bad it's so noisy they'd hear it. And then I got my lootas up here. Couple custom lootas in there.
Now lootas, if I'm not mistaken, are very good right now.
No.
No, they aren't?
In 8th edition?
Oh, in 8th they were good.
Savage.
But they've lost all their ability to...
The problem is the AP1 is an issue because a lot of people can ignore AP1, and AP1's not that great. But they are 2 damage, strength 7, and D3 shots apiece, and you
twice.
So if you can get past the armor, it actually can do some serious work.
Absolutely. I mean, they put out a heck of a lot of shots. So.
And they deep strike?
No, they don't deep strike, but they have 48-inch range, strength 7, AP 1, 2 flat damage each, D3 shots per model. There's 15 models in the unit.
That's a lot of DACA.
And again, with mine, they're bad moons. They're re-rolling 1s, and then for 2 command points, I can make them explode on 5s, and then I can pay another 2 command points and just shoot them again.
There's so many shots.
I mean, you could potentially shoot 90 shots of strength 7, AP 1, 2 flat damage, re-rolling 1s, hitting on 5s and 6s, exploding on 5s and 6s.
And you're saying that's not good?
Well, the AP1, right? I mean, it's tough. You shoot Marines in cover and they're just straight saving.
Fair enough,
right?
Fair enough. But they gotta roll 1s and 2s sometimes.
They do.
All right, and then you got a whole bunch more boys up here.
Right, so I've got a couple big 30-man blobs here, and then there's like a 20-man blob on the end there. I have a few more at home that are, I have enough to make 3 30-man blobs, 90 boys of bad moons. I left a few at home just because I've started rebasing up to 32 mil on everything in my army. These ones here I haven't touched yet, so they were still good to go. The other ones are all just glued to black bases. They look crappy, so.
The bigger bases does make them look more imposing.
They do. For me personally, I was having trouble trimming the rings away, and I just glued the bases right on top of another base, and I actually kind of like the way it looks. Build it up, make it look a bit like a hill.
I see what you mean. Oh,
yeah, I think
okay.
it makes the orcs look even makes
more
taller, bigger. Yeah, it makes them look a little bigger, a little meaner. So
I see. That's why they have the top knots.
For all the people crying about us needing a new orc boy sculpt, just glue your 25 mil base on top of 32 mil. They look even bigger.
Suddenly they're bigger.
Boom.
And then you've got a bunch of looks like commanders.
Yeah, I got all kinds of characters over here too. So I've got a war boss as well for them. This guy is Buzzfist. We've got 3 weird boys. My guys have to earn a name.
Okay.
So I don't just name every model. I know a lot of people like to do that kind of thing, but my guys have to earn a name. So this guy here is Crisscross, because he'll make you the jump. Got a mech here. I've got a big mech with a custom force field. I've got my now defunct big mech with a custom force field on the war bike.
So you basically name your guys when they have a story.
Right. There's only a few. Over in the commandos over there, there's a boss knob with a big choppa. So that's Knob Halford.
Why is he Knob Halford?
He's Knob Halford. He's the Grandmaster Mother Effer. Because he, at a tournament in, I want to say beginning of 8th edition, I had no real codex. I was working with an index. And I played Grey Knights in my final game at Attack X. And he killed the Grandmaster in Dread Knight armor. He took the last wound off him with his big choppa. And that day he earned a name, so.
That's awesome. Did any of you guys earn a name from the game against Michael?
I didn't, no, I have to go back and watch the video again. Maybe somebody did.
I feel like the Knight earned a name.
The Morkanite does deserve a name. I put a lot of effort into that thing, a lot of time and effort into it. The week leading up to that game, I basically put almost all the paint on it, based it, everything that.
I think it's such a cool conversion. I love it so much.
Right?
All right, and then I think the only one we haven't talked about is your flyer.
Right, so I've just got my DACA jet there. It's pretty standard. Again, he was in my first game on the channel. Yeah, he's got this custom big Shootas,
I love it.
Shooter.
I love it so much.
Right?
All right, how are planes doing for you in the game?
I don't play it a lot. I have a Burnabama in the works. I'm gonna start doing the same cheese that everybody else has been doing. I'm gonna fly that thing in and just headbutt it into everything. Yeah. Just boom, eat it. You can force an explosion. Just 3 mortals all over the place.
Great. That's kind of fun,
right?
Now, so let's talk about playing the orcs. I have never played the orcs, but I've played against orcs a lot. One of my regular players when I was starting was, regular opponents when I was starting out was an orc player. And man, I don't think I've ever won against orcs, like never. And I played like a lot of games against orcs. Orcs have been my bane. Never once won with my Tau against the orcs.
You know what, don't feel bad because I've had some rough runs with Tau. In 8th edition with my mean list.
Not against me.
It was they were one of the armies I struggled with a bit. Once I got the shield drone thing figured out, it was okay, but I had some really rough beatdowns from some Tau armies. Again, in 8th edition.
Fair enough, but I was losing in 8th edition too. So tell me how orcs play and how you play orcs, because orcs can be played several ways. And like we've often heard the rule said online, boys before toys, meaning like take lots of troops before you take all the like big Gorkanauts and Morkanauts and fancy stuff.
It still applies. At the end of the day, I mean, if you can flood the table with bodies, there's not much anybody can do about it.
It's true.
If you just hoard over the objectives, I mean, they're not going to be able to get to them. And I mean, in 9th edition, that's a big deal.
But that's not how you played against Michael.
That's not how well, it is though. It is how I played against Michael. I rushed the objectives. That's where the transports come in handy now, and I think it applies to all armies. Transports are super good now because they're an extra shield that they have to cut through to get to the soft, juicy innards, right?
Hold those objectives.
If I just throw orcs, just like if I had to throw 10 orc boys on each thing, he'd have shot them all off. He'd have just shot them off. But he had to shoot through the trucks, and I think that kind of hit a switch in his brain where he was like, I have to get the stuff in front of me first, it's more important.
Which also a target priority. If you can make your opponent have to make choices, sometimes they'll make the wrong one.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Make your opponent make poor choices. That's actually the best way to play orcs. I think is throw so many things at them that so much variety. A lot of people want to push for just repeating the same units over and over again because it will confuse your opponent. But I find the more stuff you throw at them, it can cause like mass confusion. They're like, oh, this is dangerous. I got to get this, and then they start to ignore the simple stuff like boys and trucks, and
which left alone can do some significant damage.
Right. Well, and I mean, just park on objectives and just rack up points, right?
Fair enough. How has playing orcs changed from Rogue Trader to current 9th edition 40K?
When I was playing Rogue Trader, I actually didn't play orcs. My brother did. And I was actually kind of jealous because I played the Eldar and I was, prancing about, letting off shots here and there. And he was racing around with like a bike with 2 big machine guns on the side and a little truck with a flamer on the top. And he was always laughing and having a good time. And I was always like focused, trying to figure out how to make my pansies win. And he never cared. He was just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. My guys die to a breeze. I'm just going to have fun, right? So I was always jealous. So here we are.
Yeah, like most orc players I've met, that's been their attitude. They've been able to approach 40K like, let's have some fun, and they've been some of the best guys to know. And
99% of us are probably the funnest players to play against. There is like the 1%. Obviously, it always exists. There's the meta players who just the tryhards, but that's in every army.
Orcs can be a lot of fun.
They're super fun. They're super fun. I refuse to jump on the meta. Like, as you can see, I don't have 16 to 20 mech guns. I might at home. I played all through tournaments in 8th edition. And I never jumped on that meta wagon. I played what I wanted to play.
Play what you want to play, and
you'll figure out ways to make it work too. Yeah. I mean, you figure out where the units do their best work, and you can figure out the flexibility in the army, and then figure out how to get the points out of them.
This is your hobby. This is your army. This is your game. Have fun. No one else can really tell you what to do.
If you're not having fun, what's the point?
Exactly. This is a game.
Right?
People sometimes take it a little too seriously.
Yeah, even me. Sometimes I get a little too serious with it, but it is what it is.
Explosions!
Yeah, right? I love a good explosion too.
Okay, well, lastly, if someone's out there, they're thinking, orcs seem fun. What's your advice for starting orcs or playing this game in general from your experience?
That's a good question for orc players, eh? There's a lot of us out there. Go to Facebook and join the 40K orc community. Best 40K community on Facebook. Nothing but love in there. No jerks, I promise, except me. You'll get a lot of really good tips there. There's a lot of knowledge to be had in there. A lot of great players, orc players, a lot of great orc knowledge. My advice would be, if you want to play orcs, save some money. It can be expensive. The painting can also be quite daunting. Although with contrast, which I haven't tried too much of yet myself, I've seen a lot of people turn out some really awesome orc stuff with it, and super fast. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm a fast painter anyway. Like, I can turn out 30 boys in about 4 or 5 hours if I just sit down and focus. But yeah, that would be my biggest tip.
Get used to painting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and save some money. It's expensive. Orcs are expensive.
Because you need so much of it. They're cheap on points, so that you have to have a larger army.
Your average 2,000 point army of orcs has, I would say, in my opinion, at least 90 boys. So, you're probably going to need, 90 boys, $40 a box.
It's true.
9 times 40. Figure that out.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to play the meta and play mech guns, $60 a gun. You need 18 of them.
Or you just stick some gun-looking things on some.
Well, that's what I've been working on. See, I'm not going to go out and buy 18 mech guns, but I will build a few.
Well, James, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
This has been a pleasure to see your army, and I can't wait to have it back. I think we need to have you back for an Apocalypse game.
I would be down for that.
That would be fun. What do you think? Thank you to our sponsor, Audible, for sponsoring this episode.
So like I said at the beginning, if you go to audible.com/playontabletop or you text playontabletop to 500-500, you can get a free trial and try it for yourself.
I'm definitely gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna hit up Audible and I'm gonna listen to the series because I just don't have the time to read it, unfortunately, as much as I would love to.
I usually do it on my commute. There you go. But thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again. And okay, so we're gonna do the ending slogan. Okay. So you say, "Till we see you next time." We say, "Play on."
Okay.
Nobody's gotten this so far. Okay. It doesn't seem that hard. Okay, you ready? All right. We're gonna say, "Play on" together.
Okay.
Got this?
We're gonna look into each other's eyes.
No, we're looking right at the camera.
Okay.
All right. Until we see you next time, play on. You did that on purpose.
I did that on purpose. I'm sorry, man.